Good morning, dear students of BA Part 3rd English Honours. After a long time, once again, I am here with a very beautiful, thought-provoking poem written by D.S. Lawrence, and that is Snake. The situation is very bizarre. It's a very critical situation. The COVID-19, the pandemic, has created or rather has destroyed the very fabric of social system, you can say, fabric of education, you can say, and we have to establish ourselves again, fighting against this epidemic. Here, the poem Snake is, as I have told you, is a very suggestive poem, is a very thought-provoking poem. It's a very beautiful poem. It has been written by D.S. Lawrence, and as you know, D.S. Lawrence is a great poet, novelist of 19th and 20th century. He was a great writer. He has a multifaceted personality. He was a prolific writer. He was a great author, you can say. He was not only a poet or novelist, but he was a playwright. He was an essayist. He was a short story writer. He was a writer of travelogues also. So, on the whole, he is a very checkered personality. He is a genius, you can say. He is a versatile genius, and he is a prolific writer, and he is the most influential writer of the 19th and 20th century. This poem Snake, which has been provided to you in the 6th paper in the Faber Book of Modern Poetry. If you have the book with you, please open the book and turn to that poem, that is Snake, written by D.H. Lawrence, a poet novelist of par excellence, you can say. As a novelist, he has written so many novels like Women in Love, Lady Chatterley's Lovers, Sons and Lovers, The Rainbow. As a short story writer, he has written The Rocking Horse, Winner, The Fox, etc. And he has written so many poems rather, and his poems are published in a collection of his poems. To this, he was born, you can say, he was born on September 11, 1885, and he died, or rather he passed away, or he left for his heavenly abode on March 2nd, 1930. Dear friends, dear students, his works are the reflection upon the dehumanization or dehumanizing effects of modernity and industrialization, you can say. And the poem Snake comes in the same category. People say, or it is said, that ignorance is the mother of evil. No doubt, of course. It is a well said proverb. It's a well said saying that ignorance gives birth to problems, gives birth to evils. But in modern perspective, or at the present circumstances, it comes to my mind that over knowledge, over wisdom, or you can say misuse of knowledge or misuse of wisdom is also the mother of almost all the evils. Just 2 or 3 days before, you might have seen how a pregnant elephant, lady elephant, you can say, sea elephant, you can say, was made to die. By before, you might have got a very harassing news, you can say, a very pathetic news, that a lady pregnant elephant was given a pineapple to eat, and that pineapple was filled with bomb, and that bomb exploded inside her stomach and she died after suffering for 2 or 3 days. Just I have heard a news that the same thing has happened with a pregnant cow which was grazing grass in the field. What are these? Don't you think all these things are the outcome of our excessive knowledge, of our having more and more wisdom? So these are the shams. And in the present poem Snake, D.S. Lawrence hammers upon this aspect of dehumanizing effect of modernity upon man. The same thing has been emphasized upon in the poem Snake. Therefore, I have chosen this poem for you to teach today or at present. So if you have the snake, the poem with you, please take out the book, turn to the poem. See, there is a beautiful description of the snake which comes to the poet's whom you can say. Poets water through, just to drink water. As the poet describes in the poem, it was very hot, extreme hot. It was almost all the creatures were restless because of that heat. And in that noon, a snake comes to the water through of the poet to drink water. The poet also goes there, and a beautiful rapport, a friendly rapport rather, grows between the two, you can say, or not. If you say not say two, but the poet develops a beautiful liking, you can say, a love for the snake. But his education warns him. His education asks him to kill the snake. And you will find in the poem there is a tussle between head and the heart of the poet. The head cautioning him, the head warning him, but the heart is in romance. The poet's heart is romancing with the snake. The poet is very much gratified. He is grateful to the snake. He is very happy that the snake has provided him the chance to be his host, and the snake has become his guest. But later on, the poet the poem goes on, and at the last we find that for the time being, for a few seconds, his mind wins over his heart, and in that condition, when his mind is overpowered by his education, he just picks up a log lying there and he throws it towards the snake. But after throwing that log, he repents a lot. How it happens, and what are the effects of that throwing of the log towards the snake, we will see in the poem. Now see, just in one line I will try to summarize the poem, and that is, here Lawrence exalts the values of primitive life, जो पहले का जीवन, not modern life, primitive, आदिम जीवन जिसको आप कह सकते हैं, primitive life, and denounces the shams of artificialities of modern civilized life. We call ourselves civilized. We cut our nails. We get our hair cut. We get our nails cut just to show that we are not barbarous. Just there is no savagery in us, but we are more savage than, we are more brute, and our actions are more and more brutal than the actions of the brute, of the animals. If not, how is it possible? How is it possible that a hungry pregnant elephant is given a bomb to eat? How it happens that a cow grazing in the field is made to eat the bomb? Of course, one gets bewildered. What has happened to the humanity? What is the meaning of education? What for education? What for knowledge? What for a scientific advancement? What for? Where are we? Where are we? Where are we going? Where are we proceeding? All these things. So we are just we are not civilized. We are pseudo civilized, you can say. So all these things have been emphasized upon in the poem, that is Snake. Now see the lines. A snake came to my water through. A snake, the poet describes in a very easy language, in a very lucid language, about the arrival of a snake. A snake came, एक सांप आया, to my water through on a hot. See the repetition. Time and again I have told you that if a single word is repeated more than one in one line, that is repetition. That is one of the figures of speech or literary terms, you can say. On a hot day, and I means the poet, in pyjamas for the heat to drink them. It was a hot summer day. The earth was thirsty. Each and every animal or creature living upon the earth were thirsty, were restless because of the thirst. Even the sun was in the search of water. It was so hot. Suraj jo garmi barsa raha, the sun was belching out fire upon the earth, and the earth was burning like the furnace. Even the sun was in search of the water. A snake comes to the water through of the poet just to get his thirst quenched, and the poet too goes there for the same purpose, and when he goes there, he finds the snake already drinking water. In a deep, strange scented, see the alliteration of S sound, strange S, scented S, shade S. In the deep, strange scented shade of the great dark carob tree, I came down the steps with my pitcher. The water through, where there is the water through of the poet, there is a carob tree, and it is a shady plant. The water through is under that shady plant, so there must be some shade there. At the same time, that plant is full of scented flowers, and that is producing the strange smell there. The snake is there, and the poet goes there with a pitcher in his hand to get it filled with water, and must wait, must stand and wait. The poet is talking to himself. The poet is the poet is you can say the poet is having a communion with himself. The poet is suggesting himself. The poet is asking himself, you can say. The poet is and must wait. The poet doesn't want to disturb the snake. Therefore he decides. He asks himself just to wait. Poet पढ़ा लिखा है. He knows that one must be in queue when you go to have the ticket at the platform. So you stand in queue. तो poet सोचता है कि भाई लाइन में खड़ा हो जाए, because the snake has come earlier, so it's his chance to get water. So I came down the steps with my pitcher and must stand and wait, for there he was at the through before me. The poet is an educated person. He knows that since the snake has reached the place at first, therefore he must be provided the chance to drink water at first. As you know, you might have seen in Mahabharata, since Lord Krishna has seen Arjuna at first, therefore he, even if it was Duryodhan who has reached there before Arjun, but since Lord Krishna has seen Arjun first, therefore he has provided him the chance to demand, or to make his demand, you can say. So here he reached down from a fissure in the earth wall in the gloom. He means snake. The snake has been personified here. He reached down. कहाँ से आया था? From where? From a fissure. Fissure means crack, gap, which we find in our houses, you can say, in our homes, you can say, in the earth wall, in the gloom, dark area, cracks, holes, and trailed his yellow brown slackness soft belly down. See the beautiful observance of the poet of the snake. He has observed each and every activity of the snake very minutely and trailed. The snake creeps. The snake doesn't walk, you can say. So he trailed, walk with difficulty, you can say, trailed his yellow brown slackness, alliteration of soft, of S sound, slackness soft bellied down. You might have seen the belly, पेट जिसको आप कहते हैं, the stomach of the snake is very soft. I think you must not have got a chance to touch that softness, and I know that none of you can dare, even I can't dare to have that taste of that tasty softness, or you can say paneerish softness of that stomach of belly of, or stomach of the snake rather, soft belly down over the edge of the stone through. So due to the excessive heat, when it became very, very tough or impossible for the snake to survive, he came out of his living place, he came out of his palace, अपने महल से बाहर निकला, that is the crack or fissure. He comes out, that snake comes out of that fissure, that of his palace, and starts or makes his search for water. Of course, he was thirsty. He has a very long body, and because of the thirst and because of the excessive heat, he feels laziness. But since he has to search out water, therefore he is dragging his belly, dragging his body, and doing that he comes to the home or house of the poet. There he finds the tap, and there he puts his head upon the edge, EDGE, upon the stone edge of his throat, you can say, and rested his throat upon the stone bottom, and where the water had dripped from the tap in a small clearness. No doubt, there must be some problem in his tap. it might be left loose. The tap might be left loose because water is dripping rather from that tap in the form of drops, you can say. And the snake opens his mouth and sucks, you can say, S-U-C-K-S, sucks water. And this way he is quenching his thirst. So, and where the water had dripped from the tap in a small clearness, he sipped. Because of the dripping of water, there must be some, it might have created a pool of water there, and the snake is sipping, S-I-P-P. To sip means just to lick, you can say, using one's tongue. जीभ से चाटना किसी चीज को. So he sipped with his straight mouth. See the minute observation. I have told you the minute observation, how minutely the poet has observed each and every activity of the snake there. He sipped with his straight mouth, softly drank through his straight gums into his slack, long body silently. The process of drinking water is on and on, or rather is going on very silently. He is sipping the water, and the water through his throat is going, and the water through his gums, you can say, through his throat is spreading in the whole of his body, in almost all his veins, you can say. No doubt, dear students, the poem is not so romantic, you can say. Some of you might get drowsy also, but don't get drowsy. It's a beautiful poem. Try to understand it. It is a poem which churns your mind. It is a valuable poem. It's a poem of value, you can say. It suggests a lot. So softly explain. Someone was before me at my water throat. Now the poet is talking to himself. Up till now, he has not disturbed the snake. He was there. He was looking at the snake, but he has not created, or he has not made any sound. The snake is unaware of the presence of any man there, and he is just sipping his water, having no problem, having no tension, having no fear, having no terror. And the poet is thinking to himself, someone was before him at my water through, and I like second come up. The poet is convincing himself. How can he disturb him? He has come at first. So it is his chance to have water. It is his chance to drink water, and of course the creator of the snake and the creator of man is the same. Water has not been created by man. Water has been created by nature, and each and every creation of Almighty, each and every creature created by the Almighty or nature has the equal right to enjoy the bounties of the earth, the gifts of the earth. So the same is being done by the snake. The snake is drinking water. So, and I like a second comma, waiting. He lifted his head. He lifted his head. See the beautiful alliteration of H sound. He lifted his head from his drinking as cattle do. You might have seen, some of you may be belonging to the village area. Some of you might be having cows as or buffaloes as pet. So you might have some pet animals, you can say. or you might have seen the cattles eating, grazing. You might have seen the cattles drinking water. I too have seen, because I too have kept, or I too have tamed, you can say, or kept a cow for 10 years. So I have the first hand experience of all these things, you can say. So he lifted his head from his drinking as cattle do. जैसा कि you might have seen the cattle, if you provide a cattle a bucket of water to drink water, so the cattle drinks and it lifts his mouth and looks left or right, दाएं बाएं, sometimes up down, and once again he goes, he takes his mouth towards the water, towards the bucket, and drinks, and he goes on, that cattle goes on drinking water the same way, and the same is being done by the snake also. So he left his head from his drinking as cattle do and looked at me. It is for the first time. It's for the first time that the snake gets a look of the poet. A vague look, not clear look, or spashed, not a spashed, but he gets a look. The snake gets a look. And you know the fact very well, it is a well said thing that if a man is afraid of snake, the snake is also afraid of man. A man doesn't want to come across a snake, and so does a snake want. So, and looked at me vaguely as drinking cattle do. जैसे कि पानी पीते हुए पशु अपने आसपास के लोगों को vaguely देखते हैं, in the same manner, in the same way, the snake drinking water, sipping water from the water through of the of the poet, gives a look to the poet, you can say, and flickered. It is for the first time that the snake is taking out his tongue, having just like a two-forked tongue, as you might have seen, with which the spoon with which you enjoy chowmin, you can say. हाँ, वो दो आँख फोड़ने वाला, दो चमचा, दो नुकीला पॉइंट है, दो चम्मच होता है, उस तरीके से. And flickered his two-forked tongue. Oh my God! What a dreadful tongue! What a dreadful flickering it must have been. A snake flickering his tongue. And flickered his two-forked tongue from his lips. Just like this. I am not a snake, but he must be flickering his tongue like the same as I have done, and mused a moment. Mused, M, moment, M. Alliteration of M sound, sipping water, getting a vague look of the poet, flickering his two-forked tongue. The snake muses, ponders, broods, thinks for a moment, you can say, and he stooped, once again bent his head down and stooped and drank a little more. Being earth brown, now the color of the snake, you can say, being earth brown, जैसे धरती की ब्राउन कलर की, being earth brown, earth golden, from the burning bowels, beautifully used. As I have told you, the sun is belching out fire upon the earth. Even the sun is restless out of his own heat. The earth is so hot, it has turned into a furnace, you can say. It has turned into into a Jwalamukhi, you can say. The earth has turned into a volcano. Burning bowels of the earth, being earth brown, earth golden, from the burning bowels of the earth. From where he has come? He has come from the burning bowels of the earth. धरती के जिस छेद में वो रह रहा होगा, जिस मकान में वो रह रहा होगा, the AC has failed there. It was extreme heat there. He failed to bear that excessive heat, and it came out. He came out of that bowel on a day of Sicilian July with Etna smoking. In Sicily is a country, you know. Sicily, July is very hot. With Etna smoking, and Etna is a volcano. Yani, this means the poet wants to say that the earth, because of the excessive heat, the earth has turned into a volcano like Etna. It is excessive heat, unbearable heat, you can say. The earth is boiling, you can say, boiling from inside also. Each and every creature was restless. The voice of my education said to me, he must be killed. Now, as I have told you earlier, you will find a clash between the head or mind and the heart or the dil of the poet. Between his education and his heart. Of course, he is a well-read man, he is a well-educated man. He knows the danger of the snake. He knows it fully well that he is a poisonous animal. If the snake comes and simply thanks the poet, touching his finger, touching his hand, or touching his leg, telling I love you, the poet is bound to die. So if you grow love, if you think in terms of romancing with the snake, you are an owl, you are a fool. It can bite you any moment. So the poet's education suggests him, warns him against the very danger of having snake at his water through, and suggests him to kill the snake then and there. Because for in Sicily the black snakes are innocent. जैसे अपने यहाँ सांप होता है हरा सांप. Generally we do not kill that snake. When it is seen, we clap. Why do we clap? We don't know. We simply clap, and with the sound of our clapping, that snake runs away from there. I have seen clapping my mother. I have seen clapping my father. I have seen clapping my grandfather. And my son has seen clapping me, and just like that, a tradition has evolved. You can say a tradition is being run that that Hara Samp must not be killed. It is just like the god. It doesn't bite. It has no poison or this or that, and simply we drive him away, that snake away, by producing the sound through our clapping, you can say. So likewise in Sicily, black snakes are innocent. It means in Sicily, black snakes are poisonless. They have no poison. But the snake having golden color or snake having the color of gold are not innocent. They are very dangerous. They are poisonous. They are venomous. And the snake the poet is describing here is not of black color, but is not of black color, is not of the color of your teacher, is not the color of Mr. Anand Saumitra. So it is of golden color, you can say, and therefore it was venomous, and therefore the education of the poet suggests him or asks him just to kill that snake. And voices in me said, if you were a man, if you were a man. पोएट के अंदर से एक आवाज आती है, एक वॉइस, एक अंदर की आवाज, इनर वॉइस. इफ यू आर ए मैन, suppose if you ask me to kill a snake, I am going to make an excuse. I am very much afraid, I can't kill that snake, so I will make an excuse. No, अरे मैं तो उसको मार देता, I could have killed this snake, but क्या कहें, in our family snakes are not killed. हमारे परिवार में सांप को नहीं मारा जाता, अदरवाइज मैं तो इसको मुआ देता, मैं तो इसको थकूस देता, इवन कि अपने पैर से ही चिपके मार देता, लाइक दैट. बट क्या करूं, what should I do? Snakes are not killed in our family. So here the poet, his inner voice says, and voices in me, that is the voice of his education. If you were a man, you would take a stick and break him now and finish him off. उसके भीतर से आवाज आती है कि अगर तुम मर्द हो, अगर आदमी हो, if you have power, if you can dare, if you are not afraid of, if you have the gurda, you can say, if you have the kidney, you can say, you take a stick and go and just break that stick upon him and finish him. So dear students, the poem is very long, and it's not possible to finish it in one day or in one class. If I will try to do it, naturally it is going to affect your understanding. You will not be in a position to understand it. At the same time, I too will not be I will not be comfortable enough to make the whole poem easily advantageous to you. I will also feel some problem to drive the whole poem to home to you people. So I have tried just to make you understand some early stanzas of the poem. Just I have enkindled your interest in the poem. Go through the poem on your own. In my next class, I will try my level best to finish this poem, to complete this poem. Go through the poem. Try to think about the poem on your own. Try to muse or try to brood upon the things I have talked. And if you face any problem, any difficulty in comprehending the poem, in understanding the poem, send your problems through your comments, and your problems are always solicited. I will try my level best to solve out, to sort out, to solve out your problems. Till then, have a nice day, nice night. Now, the government has brought some now the process of unlocking the lockdown has been started by the government. You all know very well about the nature of this COVID-19. You know the safety measures which you have to adopt. Now it is up to you. If you want to survive, if you want that others should also survive, if you want that you should grow and with you the others also grow, so please try to stay at home. Try to adopt almost all those safety measures. If you have to go out use masks, use sanitizers, make some social distancing. But when you are at home, you must not maintain social distancing, or you can say from your education, from studying. Never, don't make book distancing, you can say. No doubt, if you are outside, you have to make social distancing, but never try to adopt the method of book distancing. Otherwise, you will fall in problem, because in the last of June or in the first week of July, the students of BA Part 3rd might be asked to write their papers. There are 4 papers. You have to prepare a lot. So start preparation. Go all out for an examination. Wish you all the best. Thank you. God bless.